In a world that moves at an increasingly dizzying pace, people seem to be swept into a non-stop current of demands and expectations. Rushing forward without pause, rarely slowing down to breathe, reflect, or truly notice how life is passing them fast. Each day begins with an alarm, followed by work, messages, notifications, goals, and overlapping expectations, pulling the mind into constant motion and pressure. Leaving space to pause, breathe, reflect, or regain clarity before momentum takes over. Everything demands speed, immediacy, efficiency, pushing people to respond faster, do more, think quicker, and perform constantly, while slowing down feels unacceptable. Even though the human body and mind were never designed to function well under non-stop urgency. Amid this rhythm, few people pause to ask whether they are truly living or simply reacting non-stop to pressure, routines, and demands, moving automatically through life without reflection, awareness, or choice in a world that never slows down at all. Modern life has normalized haste, teaching people to rush through tasks, conversations, and even rest, valuing speed over presence, productivity over awareness, and constant movement over balance, until slowing down feels uncomfortable or wrong. More people grow used to multitasking, eating in a rush, and resting while their minds remain tied to work, constantly thinking ahead, replaying tasks, answering messages mentally, and never fully disconnecting or feeling truly at ease. Now, even when the body stops, the mind keeps running, jumping between worries, plans, and unfinished thoughts, replaying the past and rushing toward the future, rarely allowing true stillness, silence, or the deep rest it quietly needs within. This prolonged acceleration prevents the nervous system from truly relaxing, keeping the body in constant alertness, tension, and readiness. Where stress hormones linger, recovery slows, emotions dull, and calm becomes harder to access over time. The brain stays in a state of alert, breathing becomes shallow, the heart beats faster, and emotions grow unstable, as the body remains locked in survival mode, making rest feel unsafe, focus harder to sustain, and balance increasingly difficult to regain. Over time, exhaustion spreads beyond the body into the mind, making people irritable, impatient, and disconnected from simple joy, dulling curiosity, weakening empathy, and turning daily life into something to endure rather than experience with presence. Learning to live slowly does not mean turning away from the world or abandoning personal goals, but choosing to move with awareness, intention, and balance, allowing the body and mind to stay grounded while still growing, creating, and engaging fully with life. Living slowly means adjusting your pace to match natural human limits, respecting cycles of energy and rest, allowing pauses between tasks, listening to bodily signals, and understanding that lasting progress grows from balance, presence, and care, not constant urgency. It is the awareness that faster is not always better, that speed can blur meaning, weaken presence, and exhaust the mind, while slowing down allows clarity, depth, intention, and a fuller experience of each moment to quietly return. When everything becomes rushed, quality of life declines, even if short-term productivity increases, as constant urgency drains energy, weakens focus, strains relationships, and leaves little room for meaning, satisfaction, balance, or genuine long-term well-being. Slowing down helps sustain long-term energy instead of constantly burning it in endless races, allowing the body to recover, the mind to reset, and motivation to grow steadily, creating strength and clarity that support progress without exhaustion over time. Living slowly begins with small, ordinary changes, such as pausing before reacting, eating with attention, resting without guilt, reducing constant stimulation, and choosing presence over urgency, allowing daily life to feel calmer, clearer, and more intentional. It may be eating a full meal without distractions, walking at a gentle pace to feel the body move, or taking a few quiet minutes to breathe deeply during a demanding day. Creating space for awareness, calm, and reconnection amid constant pressure. These moments may seem insignificant, yet they have a powerful effect on the nervous system, signaling safety, restoring balance, and gradually releasing accumulated tension stored in the body and mind after long periods of constant pressure. When living slowly, people reconnect with the present moment, noticing sensations, emotions, and surroundings more clearly, allowing awareness to replace autopilot, and helping life feel grounded, meaningful, and consciously lived rather than constantly rushed. Instead of constantly worrying about the future or obsessing over unfinished tasks, attention returns to what is happening now, allowing the mind to settle, perception to sharpen, and experiences to be felt fully rather than rushed past unconsciously. Emotions become clearer, and it becomes easier to recognize when rest is needed and when to move forward. As awareness deepens, self-trust grows, and decisions arise from listening to the body and mind instead of pressure, urgency, or external demands. This presence adds depth to life, transforming it from a blurred sequence of hurried days into something more meaningful, where moments are felt fully, choices are made consciously, and time is experienced with intention, clarity, and a renewed sense of purpose. Living slowly also helps clarify what truly matters, allowing priorities to emerge without noise or urgency, helping people distinguish between what drains energy and what nourishes it, and guiding choices toward values that support lasting well-being. In a fast-moving world, people often chase goals shaped by comparison or social expectation rather than genuine desire, moving quickly toward achievements that look successful from the outside but feel empty, draining, or disconnected from who they truly are inside. Slowing down creates space to reflect, to distinguish between what is necessary and what is merely imposed, allowing clearer judgment, healthier boundaries, and more intentional choices that align actions with personal values instead of constant external pressure. From there, it becomes possible to release unnecessary pressure, establish clear boundaries, and protect personal energy, allowing effort to be directed toward what truly matters, reducing burnout, and creating a more balanced, sustainable way of living over time. A fast world trains people to react instantly, responding to demands, messages, and problems without pause, reflection, or choice, keeping the nervous system on alert and conditioning the mind to urgency rather than calm, thoughtful, intentional response. Yet reacting quickly does not mean reacting wisely, as speed often bypasses reflection, increases mistakes, amplifies emotions, and reinforces stress, while thoughtful pauses allow clearer judgment, better decisions, and responses guided by awareness rather than impulse. Living slowly creates a pause between stimulus and action, allowing the mind to process, the body to settle, and awareness to guide responses. So choices become intentional rather than automatic reactions driven by stress, habit, or external pressure. That pause allows for thought, listening, and responses aligned with personal values rather than impulsive emotion, creating space for clarity, restraint, empathy, and intention to guide actions instead of haste, pressure, or automatic reactions. As a result, relationships grow gentler, communication deepens, and unnecessary conflicts fade, as people listen more fully, respond with care, and interact from calm awareness rather than tension, haste, or misunderstood emotional reactions. More importantly, learning to live slowly means respecting one's own rhythm, honoring personal limits, energy cycles, and emotional needs, instead of forcing constant speed, comparison, or performance that leads to exhaustion and loss of inner balance. Each person has a different pace, and forcing oneself to match others often leads to exhaustion and loss of direction. As personal needs are ignored, energy is drained, and life becomes driven by comparison rather than clarity, purpose, or self-understanding. In a society obsessed with speed, slowing down is not weakness but a conscious and courageous choice, one that protects health, preserves clarity, and affirms self-worth by choosing balance, intention, and long-term well-being over constant urgency. Ultimately, living slowly does not diminish life, it enriches it, allowing deeper awareness, fuller experiences, and greater presence, turning each moment into an opportunity for reflection, connection, and meaningful engagement rather than rushed survival. When you allow yourself to slow down, you create space for recovery, clarity, and meaningful experience, giving the mind and body time to restore energy, process emotions, and engage fully with life instead of being swept along by constant pressure and haste. In a world that moves too fast, learning to live slowly is a way to protect health, nurture the mind, and move forward with greater stability and purpose. allowing thoughtful choices, restored energy, and deeper engagement with life rather than constant stress and hurry. Thanks for watching. Wishing you the best health and wellness. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications so you never miss new health tips and lifestyle content. Share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below.